Hey, it's Nia, and we are going to talk about books for a little bit. We're going to talk about what's up on my January to be read list. We'll talk about three new young adult novels that they are the first in their series, and I'm really excited about. And then we will talk about one young adult, well, I'm sorry, one new adult slash adult novel. It's well into the series, and I absolutely adore the series, and I highly recommend. All right, first up is The Imposter Queen by Sarah Fine. It came out actually January the 5th, so it's already on the shelves in stores. This is on my January to be read list. Let's read the blurb, and then we'll talk about why I'm excited about it and looking forward to the read. The elders chose Ellie to be queen, but they chose wrong in this beautifully crafted novel in the tradition of Kristen Cashore and Victoria Aveyard. I love both of those authors, so this should be amazing. And I'm already wondering why they chose wrong. What's going on? 16-year-old Ellie was a small child when the elders of Kupari chose her to succeed the Valtia, the queen who wields infinitely powerful ice and fire magic. Okay, so it sounds like we're going to have a really strong, kick-ass female lead. Since then, Ellie has lived in the temple surrounded by luxury and tutored by priests as she prepares for the day when the Valtia perishes and the magic finds a new home in her. Ellie is destined to be the most powerful Valtia to ever rule. I'm already liking it so far. But when the queen dies defending the kingdom from invading warriors, the magic doesn't enter Ellie. It's nowhere to be found. So I'm wondering why it doesn't enter her and what's going on. Sounds pretty intriguing, and like there's a mystery that's already going to be set up pretty early on in the book. Disgraced, Ellie flees to the Outlands, the home of banished criminals, some of whom would love to see the temple burn with all its priests inside. As she finds her footing in this new world, Ellie uncovers devastating new information about the Kupari magic, those who wielded it, and the prophecy that foretold her destiny. I love, love, love a book about a good prophecy. Torn between the love she has for her people and her growing loyalty to the banished, Ellie struggles to understand the true role she was meant to play. But as war looms, she must align with the right side before the kingdom and its magic are completely destroyed. So I really, really love old world books that have an old world medieval time type feel. Game of Thrones is one of my absolute favorite shows. So anything that has a historical setting with kings and queens and courts and nobility, I'm normally there. I really love books about magic and fantasy. So if you mix those two together, it's a guaranteed recipe for success in my book. So I'm definitely going to give this a read, and I will let you know how I liked it. Next up on my January to be read list is Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. The cover art is absolutely amazing. Looks like we're going to have another strong, kick-ass female lead, which is my absolute favorite. We will read the book blurb and talk about why I am looking so forward to reading this. On a continent ruled by three empires, some are born with witchery, a magical skill that sets them apart from the others. I'm already intrigued. In the Witchlands, there are almost as many types of magic as there are ways to get in trouble, as two desperate young women know all too well. All right. I wonder what kind of trouble these two characters are already getting into. Sophia is a truth witch, able to discern truth from lie. It's a powerful magic that many would kill to have on their side, especially amongst the nobility to which Safi was born. So Safi must keep her gift hidden, lest she be used as a pawn in the struggle between empires. Okay, so we have a world set up with different empires. We have a class of nobility, which means it's going to have that old world feel that I like. I'm normally not a big fan of books involving witches or witchcraft, but every once in a while I come across an amazing one and I absolutely love it. And I think this may be one of those amazing epic reads. Isuel, a thread witch, can see the invisible ties that bind and entangle the lives around her, but she cannot see the bonds that touch her own heart. Her unlikely friendship with Safi has taken her life from her life as an outcast into one of reckless adventure, where she is a cool, wary balance to Safi's hot-headed impulsiveness. Safi and Isuel just want to be free to live their own lives. Who doesn't? But war is coming to the Witchlands. with the help of the cunning Prince Merrick. Do I smell a love interest? A wind witch and ship's captain, and the hindrance of a blood witch bent on revenge. Wonder what a blood witch is. The friends must fight emperors, princes, and mercenaries alike, who will stop at nothing to get their hands on a truth witch. Okay, so this sounds absolutely amazing. Sounds like a completely unique and never before seen or read about world and premise. You have magic mixed with nobility, mixed with princes and empires, mixed with mercenaries. So I'm really, really excited about this one. Another really new and unique thing that it seems like this book is going to do is normally we follow the story of a main character or a main male and female lead or a group of friends. But this one, we're following the story of two main characters who are both girls and they're friends. And I've never actually read a book, or I can't actually recall having read a book, and I've read a lot of them, where you follow the story of two main friends who are girls, and you see the development of both of their plots, and the development of both of their stories is very intrinsic to the actual overall story itself. So I'm just really, really, really excited about Truth Witch. It should be an amazing read. It came out January 5th. It's on my January to be read list. I'm definitely going to get it done before the end of the month, and I will review it along with The Imposter Queen. All right. So we talked about the two that came out earlier this month that are on my to be read list. We're going to talk about the two that come out actually tomorrow that will round out my to be read list for January. The first is a debut book by a debut author, which I love to support. I'm an author myself, brand new. So I really like finding really good books by brand new authors, especially when they are epic reads. So this one is called Sword and Verse. It's by Kathy Macmillan. Again, the cover art is beautiful. And I really love the title, Sword and Verse. Very intriguing, very mysterious, very, very poetic. Just from the title and the cover art with the sword sticking in the sand. Looks like I'm going to be reading about maybe an old world empire, the power of war, and the power and beauty of words. So let's go to the book blurb and then kind of talk about the book as we read the blurb. Raisa was just a child when she was sold into slavery in the kingdom of Kalara. Before she was taken away, her father had been adamant that she learn to read and write. But where she now lives, literacy is a capital offense, but all but the nobility. Ooh, okay, so if you read, you get killed. Okay, intriguing. The written language is closely protected, and only the king, prince, tutor, and tutor in training are allowed to learn its very highest form. So when she is plucked from her menial labor and selected to replace the last tutor in training who was executed, wonder why? Raisa knows that betraying any hint of her past could mean death. Keeping her secret guarded is hard enough, but the romance that's been blossoming between her and Prince Mati isn't helping matters. Okay, so obviously we're going to have a very epic romance between a swoon-worthy prince, and who doesn't love that, in their young adult novels, and it's very strong, very independent female lead. Then Raisa is approached by the Resistance, an underground rebel army, to help liberate the city slaves. She wants to free her people, but that would mean aiding a war against Mati. As Raisa struggles with what to do, she discovers a secret that the Killerites have been hiding for centuries. One that, if uncovered, could bring the kingdom to its knees. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so this is a really cool premise. I'm seeing a trend. A lot of books coming out have that old world empires at war filled, a nation in desperate need of change. They're enslaving people. They're oppressing people. Throw in a bit of magic, a bit of romance, and you get a winning formula. This seems like it will be a really good read because the main character, Raisa, she's going to be faced with the decision of. This seems like a really good read because the main character, Raisa, is going to be faced with both internal and external struggle that kind of both intertwined. Internally, she's going to be looking at, do I follow my heart with the prince that I love, or do I possibly betray him and side with the resistance and do what's right for my people? And obviously the external struggle is against the resistance, the enslaved and oppressed people, and the empire. So this should be a really amazing read, and I'm really super excited about it. Okay, last up on my list, I actually saved the best for last. It is the one I am most excited about. I have been anticipating and waiting on book 7 in Karen Marie Moning's Fever series for about a year. I've been following her books for about 5 or 6 years, maybe a little bit more now. And these are absolutely one of the most, if not the most amazing, epic, adventuresome, just like really attention-getting and engaging books you will ever read. They're not young adult, they're more new adult to adult reads, but they're really amazing, and I really love Karen Marie Moning. I love her writing. She's an amazing author. I love her main characters. Mac, she's a kick-ass heroine. She started off kind of as like this Southern belle who was really dainty and hadn't really found herself in the world and was just going along with what was comfortable or familiar, like most of us do at 18 or 19 or 20. She goes to Dublin to try and find out what happened to her missing sister who died, and she meets Jericho Behrens in her quest to find out answers about her sister Elena. Behrens is like the alpha of all alphas. He's the alpha that doesn't play well with others, and he is just the most amazingly epic, sexy-ass alpha male character you will ever read about. I really wish like he was real. So we'll talk about Feverborn. So we will talk about Feverborn's book blurb, and then we will just talk about just all the things I am excited about finding out from last book. I'll try to leave the spoilers to a minimum. But sorry in advance. Okay, so in Karen Marie Moning's latest installment of the epic, and it is epic, #1 New York Times best-selling Fever series, Mac, Behrens, Riordan, and Jada are back. And the stakes have never been higher or the chemistry hotter, hurtling us into a realm of labyrinthine intrigue and consummate seduction. Feverborn is a riveting tale of ancient evil, lust, betrayal, forgiveness, and the redemptive power of love. When the immortal Fae destroyed the ancient wall dividing the worlds of man and fairy, the very fabric of the universe was damaged, and now Earth is vanishing bit by bit. Only the long-lost song of making, a haunting, dangerous melody that is the source of life itself, can save the planet. But those who seek the mythic song must contend with old wounds and new enemies, passions that burn hot, and hunger for vengeance that runs deep. The challenges are many. The Kelter are at war with 9 immortals who've secretly ruled Dublin for eons. Mac and Jada, hunted by the masses, the Seelie Queen nowhere to be found, and the most powerful unseelie prince in all creation, determined to rule both Fae and man. Now the task of solving the ancient riddle of the Song of Making falls to a band of deadly warriors divided among and within themselves. Once a normal city possessing a touch of ancient magic, Dublin is now a treacherously magical city with only a touch of normal. And on those war-torn streets, Mac will come face to face with her most savage enemy yet. Okay, so for those of you who are either new to the Feverborn series or haven't read the last book, Burned, I'm going to try to talk about all the reasons I'm excited about Feverborn to come out without giving too much away or including any crucial spoilers that happened in the last book. So obviously Behrens and Mac, they're together after like how many books of not being together, but that mounting tension building between them. But they didn't really get their happily ever after when we picked up in their relationship with Byrne. They were quote unquote happy and together, but Mac found out that Behrens lied to her about something big, and she was pretty pissed about it. And Behrens is Behrens, so he's the alpha that doesn't play well with others. So he makes decisions that he thinks is best. that will give him what he wants, and he doesn't really consult anybody else around him, including Mac or his band of brothers. And to hell with what everybody else. In the words of Barons, you can either get in line or fuck off. So he makes a pretty big decision in this book, technically two, without consulting Mac. And we left off at the end of last book. She found out about the first decision halfway through and was pissed. He was Barons and apologized without actually saying the words "I'm sorry," but she was still relatively irked about it. And he made another really big decision at the end of last book, we think, and kept her in the dark about it. So she found out something literally in like the last pages, and I've been waiting on pins and needles this last year to find out the why and the how come and what explanation Barons is going to offer, if he is going to offer it, if it's a good one or if it's a total bullshit one and she should actually still be pissed at him. I'm just really excited about that. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with the fairies and the Song of Making, if they're going to find it. Cruz, this isn't a big spoiler. He's obviously he's an unseelie prince who had been posing as a seelie prince. He was trying to find a Song of Making to basically take over the human world and destroy life as everyone knew it on Earth. They imprisoned him, and they thought that was the end of it, but his jail cell has been cracking, and he broke out of prison at the end of the last book. So I'm really excited to see what type of havoc and mayhem Cruz is going to wreak on Dublin in this book, and how Mac, Barons, in the game are going to control it. You have Jada, who was the former Dani. We aged her up from a teenager to a young woman, and I'm really excited to see how her character is going to unfold in the coming books. So, but most of all, like with every fan of Karen Marie Moning, I'm excited to just get more of Barons. Like, I could read a book of Barons from start to finish. So I'm super, super excited about Feverborn. This one is coming in the mail tomorrow. I will literally be running to my mailbox to pick it up. It is the one I'm going to read first, because I promise you I won't be able to focus on anything else until I get it read. So I'll probably read them in the order of Feverborn, Imposter Queen, Truth Witch, and then Sword of Verse. I will post a video reviewing all of them once I'm finished, and then I will also follow that up with my February to be read list. Oh my God, this is going to be such an amazing spring and summer. There's amazing new series and ongoing series coming out every month that I'm excited about, and I'm possibly going to go just a tad bit broke buying all of these amazing books. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.